Taurox the Brass Bull is the most feared and renowned of all the Doom Bulls. A follower of Khorne, the Blood God, Taurox's campaign is all about cutting a bloody path to victory in the new Silence and the Fury DLC for Total War Warhammer 2, dropping July 14th. In this video today, we'll be exploring Taurox's campaign mechanics as well as how he plays in both the Vortex campaign and the Mortal Empires campaign. The goal here is to give you a spoiler-free rundown of the campaign where we look at the Rampage mechanic, his new mechanic added for the DLC. And by the end of this video, you should have a better idea of deciding if this is the campaign right for you come July 14th when the Silence and the Fury DLC launches. We'll also go over some of the elements of the new Beastmen rework, but I will be saving a more in-depth guide for that tomorrow. I'll mainly be looking at the new resource, Dread, the new research tree, and the new marks of Ruination. But don't worry, there's so much to dive into with this rework. It's absolutely massive. You can quickly navigate to any part of the video that interests you the most via the chapters in the timeline. Remember, this is not a guide, and while I might talk about a few things that work particularly well together, we will only be looking at turn 1 of the campaign. Maybe a little further to illustrate a point, but I don't want to spoil anything for you so you can experience the campaign for yourself. But in the trend of upfronting the information in my videos, let me tell you that Taurox might be one of the best campaigns I've played in Total War Warhammer. Maybe it's the overall Beastman mechanics that are just way more fun, but he is a powerhouse. His mechanic is all about momentum, and if you play it right, you can really tear through so much of the campaign map in the first few turns. I think what I enjoy about it is that there's really no set objective outside of reaching 500 marks of Ruination, destroying Oxyodal's faction, and finishing the final battle. But so much of the campaign is really just up to however you want to destroy everything in your path. Again, layered with the new Beastman mechanics, it just makes for a very enjoyable campaign that allows you to slaughter your way to victory. If you're enjoying these Is It Right For You videos, there's a whole playlist of them linked in the upper right and at the end of the video. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to see more of these videos. I will be doing a live stream of Taurox in about 2 or 3 hours, so swing by and ask any questions that you might have. And lastly, if you've not yet pre-ordered the Silence and the Fury, you can do so using the link to my Nexus Store in the description. Nexus preserves that 10% pre-order discount. You get a Steam key directly from the developer, and it is a great way to support the channel. Let's get started on Taurox's campaign and determine, is it right for you? Here we are at turn 1 of the Vortex campaign for Taurox, and he just looks imposing on the map. I mean, Jesus. Let's zoom out a little bit so you can get a good scope of where you start here. You're right over here in the Black Coast, just south of Tretch Craventail. So let's bring up Call of the Doom Bulls. This is the faction mechanic here for the Slaughterhorn tribe, which Taurox leads. This has a new Rampage mechanic. Maintaining momentum from successive battle victories earns Taurox rewards and bonuses. Dread Cost, which is the new currency for the Beastmen, has a 25% reduction for increasing capacity of Minotaurs with shields, Minotaurs with great weapon units. Also, we get the Dark Moon, which is part of all the Beastmen. They have the Dark Moon phase, and depending on whether it's waxing or waning, you'll get bonuses with it. And when the full moon triggers, you get even more bonuses that you can choose from. I'll show that off a little bit later in the video. But let's look at the Big Daddy himself, too, to look at his actual trait for Slaughterhorn. He gets a special raiding stance. All the Beastmen either have a special stance or a special bonus to certain stances, and we'll talk about that in the Beastman rework video, but raiding stance is upgraded to Juggernaut raiding stance, which increases campaign movement range but reduces raiding income. Taurox leaves River of Blood effects in regions after winning battles, stacks up to 3 times, and then weapon strength plus 10% for Minotaur units, and then ability Blood Beast. So here's what River of Blood does. Applies regional effects that decrease leadership for non-chaos races, increases leadership for chaos races, and increases chaos corruption, stacks up to 3 times. You can also get a skill, which we'll jump into in the skill tree section, that will increase how River of Blood works. So one thing it is a little bit kind of tricky, and this doesn't state. This says winning battles. You cannot win a siege, kind of obviously, and have that trigger this effect. So it has to actually be a land battle. Even if you win a siege and you actually take out the location, it's not going to allow you to have River of Blood effect in the region. So it is kind of it's kind of a no-brainer, but I did want to bring it up. But let's take a look at the special raiding stance here. So you can see his movement range right now. and he has the Beastman ambush, right? Well, if I switch over to Juggernaut rating, we get income generated 67, campaign movement plus 50%, Bestial Rage plus 3. Bestial Rage has had a rework, and the way that Bestial Rage works now is that as you bring it to its cap, it helps increase your population surplus, which then allows you to build more buildings in your hidden encampment. But also makes a growth of -5 in the raided province, immune to attrition, income from raiding minus 25%, vigor in battle, tired, diplomacy penalties with raided factions. So it's a pretty cool mechanic, and it does allow you to get a little bit of an extra move here, right? That's all what Taurox is about, is moving across the map quickly. And there's actually a moon phase, which increases his campaign movement as well. And that's a generic Beastman bonus, but one of the moon phases when it hits full, and we'll show this off once we get to that portion, it allows you to really kind of put some wheels on Taurox. So you can have him move around the actual battlefield quickly. But that covers his new faction bonuses and his actual, I guess you could say, unique trait in Slaughterhorn. But let's jump now into his skill tree to talk a little bit about some of the other unique skills for Big Daddy Taurox. So here we are with the skills, and I am not necessarily sure what has changed as far as the blue line goes. From what I've seen, it looks about the same, but you get, your income from raiding, post-battle, your capture, punishment, and attrition, and then ruination for siege holdout times, which moves all the way over here into unholy resilience, lightning strike, corruption, gathering of beasts, foul premonitions, and then children of chaos. Just to quickly show those off. Now, as far as his skill go, the red line is completely the same, the yellow line is completely the same, but of course he gets his unique personal line, and it is a doozy. So the first thing here is Favored of the Skull Throne. So enemy wins of magic power reserve is reduced by 15 for local armies, and he gives a 25% magic resistance to the entire army he commands. Also, he gets his new Brass Body ability, which is a nice a nice little buff to his defensive capabilities, increasing his melee defense by 24 and damage resistance by 40%. It is also worth noting that he has his own Blood Beast capability. I don't know if you saw this in the Beastman showcase video we did, but this is an explosion around him, causes burnt, and it removes things away from him so he can get a little bit of room. Also, he has Slaughterer's Call and Blood Greed, two things that we've already seen on Minotaurs. He also has a nice AP damage, and he does flaming attacks. We'll get into his unique weapon in just a little bit here. But in addition to that too, he gets Juggernaut, which is going to give a 20% charge bonus and a weapon strength bonus of 10%. And then here's an awesome one. Enables Dazed Contact Effect. Reduced speed by 25% and melee defense, I think it's by 10 or 15. I can't remember off the top of my head. But that's the same effect that the generic Doom Bull gets. So he now gets that going through the campaign, which is quite nice. Drenched in Blood here is going to increase Bestial Rage by 1 for the Lord's Army and gain an additional stack of River of Blood in the region for winning battles. So rather than it stacking to 3, it'll stack to 4. Moving on over here, we get Titans of the Deep Forest. Unit capacity of Gorgons is increased by 1, and armor plus 10 for Gorgon, Giants, Jabberslythe, and Cygor units. So one thing to take note of here, and I guess I can focus on this a little bit more when we talk about Marks of Ruination, is that the Beastmen now have the same kind of style that the Tomb Kings did, where they no longer have to pay upkeep or recruitment costs, they just have to worry about unit capacity and increasing unit capacity using Dread, or skills like this. Gore Feast here is another great one, gives you strength from flesh. This is the new regeneration capability that the Gorgon has, so basically it will restore HP as long as you are in combat. You also get Gore Feast added in as well for the entire army for your Minotaur units. Replaces Blood Greed. So here's your Gore Feast at the bottom. It gives you a regeneration while in combat, leadership of 4, melee attack of 5, charge bonus 10%, and immune to psych. Let me go and take a look at just normal Blood Greed. So you don't get a regeneration bonus, and I think it's less leadership. So 5 melee attack, 10% charge, 4 leadership. Oh, it's the same. It's just ordered differently. So yeah, you just get regeneration for all of your Minotaur units, which is just great. Great. And then this bad boy gets strength from flesh, which is going to be a stronger regeneration. You can see restores 8 hit points per second versus the 4 from Gore Feast. Then you get Demonic Vigor, which gives him perfect vigor, and then cooldown reduction for Blood Beast, Brass Body, and Rune Tortured Axes, which we'll get into in just a second. Now you do have two choices of skills here for Big Daddy Taurox as well. Do you want your Minotaurs to be better at defense or better at offense? You go Bullish Metal to give you 5 melee defense and 5 ward save to you yourself, Taurox. And then Herd Lord to give melee defense +5 for all Minotaur units in the army. Then Orgy of Slaughter, which is just a great name, gives you melee attack of 5 and cause terror. I don't know why you wouldn't cause terror. Do you see how this guy looks? Oh man. But I guess, yeah, he'd only cause us fear. Now, otherwise you get Blood Collar here, which will give you 5 melee attack for Minotaur units. Now, remember, again, choosing one will lock out the other at rank 5. So you either go Bullish Metal or Orgy of Slaughter. Personally, I kind of find Herd Lord to be a little bit more advantageous if you're not going with Minotaurs with shields. Now, at the top of the line here, we get the Rune Tortured Axe. So, to kind of count up all the things that Taurox would have once he reaches rank, let's just say 13, because it's ranked 12 to get this, then 13 would give you Juggernaut. So if you have Juggernaut and the Rune Tortured Axes, you will get the Dazed Contact effect, Flaming Attacks by just natively, and then also Magic Attacks, which is just quite disgusting. You'll also get a bonus of melee attack and 10% weapon strength bonus. In addition, you'll get that 15% AP and base weapon damage bonus, as well as 10 more melee attack. So you can really see how Taurox is a beater of worlds. He just destroys things if you can get in contact with them, and he has plenty of ways to escape using stuff like Brass Body or Blood Beast. So very nice. Fueled by Blood is going to reduce vigor loss reduction and speed for the army. Voice of the Dark God is going to help you through leadership auras. Gouge Tusk with your AP damage. Uncanny Senses with magic resist, and then Shadow Hide with missile resist. And those things are kind of standard around the mill. But that covers our skill tree here for Taurox. But let me now go into a little bit about how a lot of this kind of comes together in his new Rampage mechanic. So here we've jumped ahead a little bit to talk about the new Rampage. So if I look over here, I see this new little icon for Rampage panel. And if I hover over this, I get momentum. Momentum dictates how long a rampage is sustained. As long as momentum stays above 0, battle victories will continue to accumulate rampage marks. But if all momentum is lost, a rampage must restart. Momentum decreases every turn, but also when Taurox loses battles, retreats, or when using his movement range replenishment ability. I'll show that off in a second. Once reaching 0, momentum can be regained by simply winning a battle. So I can see right here that it shows me, okay, I've won a battle, so that's going to give me 2. Lost, because a rampage ended, or movement range replenishment was used, or end of a previous turn, or retreating, or battles lost. You have a natural attrition. If I click this panel, I thought I placed him perfectly for this to appear on his left, but it did not. We get 3 different types of rampages: Harsh, Savage, and then Cataclysmic. And each one of them has got levels within. So do I want to go Eldritch Onslaught, which is going to increase Winds of Magic and give me the ability Vile Tide without having an actual wild shaman in my party? The Unyielding Onslaught, which is all these are going to give me dread, and each step up in the rampage gives me more dread. This is going to give me ward save. This is going to give me blood greed to the entire army, which is quite nice. Again, we took a look at this one already, but just to look at it one more time. Or do I want to go with a debuff to the enemy army in the local region for both leadership and melee defense? Moving into Savage Rampage, I have got all 4 of these as well. Now these are not, they don't scale up, right? Like this one isn't about magic. This one's different. This is now income from raising settlements and horde building construction cost reduction. Or this is going to give me a huge bonus to my dread and also make it so I get a +25 bonus for 5 turns. Solar Eclipse Moon, a Dark Moon event will trigger next turn. Let's take a look. This is going to trigger in 5 turns. I can choose this to just get that to jump ahead, and I can do it next turn if I want. And then Stampede of the Chosen here. Momentum cost to replenish campaign movement range is -1. So I believe it's 2 to do so. So we'll take a look at that in a second here. And Cataclysmic, this is going to give you even more. Basically, it doubles your dread gain, 50 to 100 to now 200. Dread cost -50% for increasing capacity of Gorbol heroes. Your recruitment ring for Gorbals is 5. This is all about heroes right now. So this one's going to be for Bray Shamans. This one's going to be for the War Gore. And then the last one here is Reduction. of 25% of the dread for increasing capacity of Minotaurs, Minotaur shields, and Minotaur great weapon units. So you can see how that can all be beneficial and even stack with his own Slaughterhorn attribute. So we've just taken over the Blacklight Tower, and we're out of movement range. Let's press this button here. Replenish Taurox's entire campaign movement range at a cost of 2 momentum. We'll press that, and oop, it's all back. Look at that. Isn't that fancy? And I can see here that now, since I've done that, next turn I'm going to lose a momentum point. You can see at the bottom it says change this turn 2. Again, if I hover over this 2, it tells me that change this turn is 8, but this tells me I need 150 to get there. Nothing tells me my total amount of Rampage marks. I guess I have to just guess it. But I can click here, and let's go ahead and just claim a reward. Let's do 5% ward save. Boom. Now I get 5% ward save for the whole army for 5 turns. If I go to Savage, I can also do one here too. Let's do... I could have done this and saved myself momentum and not had any change. But let's just do a dread gain from battles. Now, if I had enough momentum, I'd be able to also get one of these benefits, and they will stay. Here, Rampage reward has already been claimed, and that Rampage reward will not be not changeable, but I can't choose another one until this Rampage ends. So you get these kind of buffs for the Rampage you have in mind. Okay, I'm going to rip through some stuff. I'm going to keep this momentum going and keep destroying and destroying and destroying. Okay, I need to take a break. Time to rebuild my army, or maybe swap out units in my army for upper tiers. Let's go ahead and maybe hit this button for dread cost reduction, or this button before I end my Rampage, depending on if I have not selected them. So this kind of gives you an idea that you kind of go in waves with Taurox's campaign, or you can just keep the Rampage going. Like if like I'll show you where my campaign is. If you are clever about this, you could really hit a point where you just keep ripping through stuff. Like I can beast path over to here and then Rampage through this whole area. And like you can just kind of keep this momentum going. And this kind of leads to a really good segue into talking about Herdstones and how you can keep this momentum going and preventing you from being kind of sealed up on the back end. So let's transition here to talk about very quickly the Herdstones. Talking about Herdstones, we're also going to talk about Marks of Ruination. And these are going to be the largest driving force for your campaign in any Beastman campaign, not just Taurox. You can see this new bar at the top here. This is your Marks of Ruination. And as you accumulate Marks of Ruination, you'll unlock additional units that you can recruit. Level 1, level 2 here, so on and so forth. And it also increases stuff like army capacity. Horde building construction cost is reduced. This one increases your Herdstone shard gain +1 per Ruination level. And those Herdstone shards allow you to start these, you place a Herdstone here, and it's basically like a settlement building more or less. And if you have a shard right here, then you can place these Herdstones, and it creates what is called a blood ground. So let me click on this. You can see there's a red tint to everything. If I press tab, I can see that this pretty much touches every local region. So if you're playing in your own campaign, the best way to use these Herdstones is not just to say, okay, I'm going to complete this ritual here, and I'll show you what that does in just 2 seconds here. And then the next one, I'm going to jump right here. No, you want to do the next Herdstone in a location where it touches a lot of other regions and connects to your last one. Because when you perform this ritual of ruination or ruin, it is going to make it so each one of these ruined settlements cannot be resettled. It's pretty cool. So let me see here if I'm in range. Not quite. This might give it to me. No, it won't. We'll just move over that direction anyway. And I'll, okay. We'll auto-resolve that. And then we'll press this button. So Loot and Raise is another nice one here because it allows me to move. Oh, I'm sorry. Raise and advance. That's what I'm looking for. Take only the prizes, then advance forward. So we'll press this button. You saw that other one said raise Herdstone right on the left. If I had pressed raised Herdstone, had I had a Herdstone shard, I would have been able to create a Herdstone here. And this gives me just a little bit more movement, right? This puts me back up to 40% movement range, and I can move one more time. So the point of that, though, was to show you that I have now destroyed this location, and each one of these locations have a number affixed to it. because when you destroy that location, it gets added to this total. So when I perform this ritual, it'll add that number of marks of ruination to my bar at the top. So right now we're at number 1. That is 0 to 24. Okay, well I'm going to get 36 by performing this ritual, so it's going to put me at the ruination level 2. Let's go ahead and perform the ritual. Yes, this will destroy. Won't destroy anything. It was telling me that these locations cannot be settled now. You see this little aura here? They can't be settled unless you destroy the Herdstones. So that is what makes this campaign, or the Beastmen campaign in general now, particularly, okay, I get it, particularly cool, because now that you've done that, these locations can't just be settled by another faction and create a power vacuum. I think that is so crucial, because when you're playing a previous Beastmen campaign, that you destroy something, someone just comes in and settles it, and that's not fun. Like, actually, this happened right here. This location, I had destroyed it, Bleak Cold came and resettled it, and I wasn't too happy about that. But I can, the other ones, these ones over here, 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 and here, you can see there's a little symbol here. They're defiled blood grounds, cannot colonize ruins in the region until the associated Herdstone is destroyed. And those Herdstones are quite strong. Look at this. This is only rank 2. And here's my garrison. It's girthy. It is girthy, especially at this beginning portions of the game. It's only turn 11, so you get a lot of benefit out of it. And as you jump up to rank 3, you get more local recruitment capabilities in each one of these Herdstone locations. Up to the top is a Cygor. Just to see the bottom one here, Ungors. I don't think I showed this one, Tuskors and everything. And as you go up too, you get more and more benefits. So here's the bottom one, Horde recruitment capacity, ambush success chance. But boom, this is going to give me campaign movement range for local armies, ambush success chance increase, Horde recruitment increased. Now this is going to give me more, double all those benefits. Now even more, and campaign movement range reduction for the enemy. Again, even more, and reduction even more for the enemy. So you get these bonuses. But in addition to, you get 3 buildings. So let me go ahead and let's go ahead and take a look over here at Dread. So Dread is another new panel that was added in with the Beastmen rework. And this is how you increase the unit caps of all of your units. Again, we're going to go into this in detail in the Beastmen rework video. You've got your lords and heroes, you've got your items, but most importantly, you've got your upgrades. So upgrades will allow you to purchase new rank of Herdstones. So right now we can only go to level 2. But if we purchase the level 3 one, all new Herdstones erect at level 3, and I can upgrade existing ones to level 3. And this will carry on up to level 5. Even going down this branch over here, new Horde armies are raised with Horde encampment building at level 2. Okay, well this does that, and a den building already constructed. This does that, and scorched grass plains buildings already constructed. So these upgrades are particularly strong, and they keep it so that you have a nice momentum in your campaign versus losing your main character and you don't know what the hell's going on after that. So let's go ahead and purchase this. Boom. We got a new Herdstone here. Gonna go ahead and upgrade that, and we're going to just end this turn and we'll go back to seeing how that affects things, because now we can build another building in the Herdstone, and those buildings are quite strong. So let's take a look at those now. Time that perfectly with the end turn. I don't know how I did it. You've got these 4 support buildings, and you can have up to 3 max. I'm not really sure what it's like here in a capital, to be totally honest. But here is this one, the Winds of Malady, and that will go up here to campaign movement reduction. Small chance for a plague to break out at the start of each turn. This plague will not harm Beastmen, Warriors of Chaos, or Norska. It will reduce public order and growth, from what I remember. Vigor in battle, winded for all non-warriors of Chaos, Beastmen, or Norscan units. All Bloodground regions, which is great. So all Bloodground regions, that's all this. Even more so, let's look at this one here. Siege towers, +3 per siege item constructed. Ammunition increase, reload time decrease, missile damage decrease for enemy towers in siege battles on all blood ground regions. Also gives you more to your garrison, right? Bestigors and Minotaurs. Up here for the Dreadful Shamanic Rituals, it's going to increase dread gain from battles faction-wide, which is huge, provides line of sight over all regions in blood ground. It's huge. I think that starts at level 1, okay. This next one here is Shroud of Discord, casualty replenishment rate, local region, Horde recruitment capacity +3, then Chaos Corruption. So you can see that these Herdstones are actually really strong, very cool, and I really dig it. I think it's a really awesome mechanic for not just Taurox, but for the Beastmen as a whole. Really huge fan of it. Again, we didn't go into a ton of detail on a lot of it, and I will in tomorrow's video, I promise. But let me go into final two things. We're going to take a look really quick at the benefits you get from the Dark Moon, and then we're going to jump into the new research tree. Okay, so we have hit the Dark Moon phase, and we get bonuses from the Dark Moon. And you'll notice that the descriptions here, the herd can replace their fallen with ferocious alacrity, but latecomers are more reluctant to fight. So it hints at a debuff, but that's non-existent anymore. All of the Dark Moon phases now give you full buffs, and they're random every time. So you might have the same 4 multiple times in a row, just mismatched, but there are a series of them, and you'll only get benefits. So all damage units will be fully replenished for 2 turns. Ruinous Incentive increases your Bestial Rage by 10. The cost of skill will dread cost reduction for increasing capacity of Giant and Chaos Spawn, as well as Gore Herd and Gore Herd with shields. And then no matter how far, campaign movement range plus 50%. But that is the new Dark Moon phase. I just wanted to very quickly showcase in the Beastman guide video. I'll be doing a little bit more of a discussion on it, but I just wanted to quickly show that off here in Taurox's campaign. Last but not least here is the research. And I like the research a lot because it gives you some direction in your campaign. It gives you some kind of nice little objectives to complete to unlock the entire research tree. So you've got these big ones here that'll say, you know, current amount or win 5 ambush battles. I've already won 2. That will then unlock all these that do not have a prerequisite. But this one will say win 5 siege battles. I've already won 1, so I need to win 4 more. Days of Wrath will perform 2 rituals of ruin. Once you've done that, you get all these other good ones here, which are quite nice. I'm just going to kind of quickly look over these real fast. You can see them. And just feel free to pause and rewind if you want to look at any of this prior to the game coming out. But then you also get these nice ones at the bottom here that are very, again, specific to certain things happening. So let's say Kadon Unleashed, summon 10 units in battle. This will increase the use of Transformation of Kadon and of Savage Dominion for your entire faction, which is awesome. Dominate the world, create a Herdstone in 3 different climates, miscast chance and Winds of Magic, Consume Order, win battles against enemies of 4 different cultures. And there you go, cooldown and Winds of Magic reductions there. Warherd Ravages win 4 battles in a single turn. Campaign movement bonus. Primal Fury, which is great. So kill or wound 5 faction leaders. And this will make it so that your Primal Fury gets an upgrade to 5 melee attack, charge bonus, speed, and immune to psychology. That is great, 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 great. And honestly, in Taurox campaign, 5 faction leaders is very easy. This is not 5 legendary lords. It's 5 faction leaders. And if I look around here, there's 1 around here, 2 there, 3 is there, Tretch is there. This is what? This is, who is this? Forgebound. He might be up here too. But I've gotten this in my campaign very easy without even knowing. I didn't even intend to get it, and I got it. But again, very, very cool one. Messenger of the Bray performed 5 successful hostile agent actions. Hero action cost reduction, campaign line of sight, enemy hero action success chance. Strong survive, have 3 characters, reach rank 15, dread gain from battles. And the last one here, this one's pretty cool. Win a battle with at least 4 heroes in your army. Passive ability, Guardian for Lords and Embedded Heroes. So quite a nice little benefit there. All you have to do is put 4 heroes in your army, which is quite easy to get with Dread, not having to recruit them through other means. So a great little addition here. One last thing I just want to really quickly look at, and again, going to be showcased way more in the upgrade video. But all of these building trees have been reworked. You now get units from the base building, which is nice. And all of these have been kind of moved around. And I'll be talking about what their move arounds are like and what units are where. But just to quickly show this off so that you can see really quick, okay, here's how you get the Jabberslythe now. So you get the Gorgon, the Cygor, and the buildings themselves have been kind of moved around in their tiers and what have you. Just to quickly show that off. But let's look really fast over at the new Mortal Empires campaign and talk about where he starts there. And also, these top ones are pretty sweet too. Again, talk about it tomorrow. Here we are on the Mortal Empires map, and you can see he starts in that far west side, right? The Obsidian Peaks over here. You have got, what's his name? The Exiles in the heck down here. I can't remember the Legendary Lord. And you have a lot of different options to expand to. What you should take note of, though, is how kind of densely packed a lot of these locations are. Remember, you're all about momentum, and that momentum is increased by just destroying locations. So you can really easily go Storag Core, then to Clark Heron, then to Venom Glade, and there's another one like right around here, over here. The Circle of Destruction's right there, but there's another one like right here. You can really rampage through a lot of this very fast in the opening 2 turns of this campaign. That's what I think is very strong about the Mortal Empires campaign for Taurox, is that he can get out of control fast. All he is about destroying everything, and if you build that momentum quick after the first turn, you can then, use this button to replenish that movement range and just keep leaping from location to location to location. The only other thing in the beginning is just replenishing or getting him some initial troops here, some more initial horde, and then just getting out of control. What I've noticed with Taurox is that when he actually jumps into combat, he is so strong against lords that he can kill them quickly, and it really, really, really hinders the leadership of the entire army, especially if you're killing Skaven or Greenskins. So I really think that the Mortal Empires campaign, while different than the Vortex, but in a very small way, you can really just get off running fast with the disgusting hooves of Taurox here. So the big question here is this campaign right for you? If you want to play a beater of worlds, probably one of the single best combatants in Total War Warhammer 2 that is hard to pin down, hard to actually kill, and has a disgusting amount of offensive capabilities, especially as he ranks up in the campaign, this is going to be the one for you. With the way that the Beastmen rework has been done, how you no longer have to pay an upkeep, pay recruitment costs, and you're only capped by the unit capacity you've got, you'll find that the Beastmen campaign is so much more fun now, and it doesn't just hinder you at every turn. You're not just dealing with the random whims of chaos that just kind of take you out from under or beneath your knees. Like, it's such a great campaign, and I think Taurox himself is easily one of my favorite characters in the Beastmen roster, in the lore, and now in Total War Warhammer 2. So hopefully this gives you a better idea of what Lord you're going to play come the launch on July 14th. It's hard to really say which of the 3 I would play. I would definitely, if I had to rank them, I think I'd go Thoric, Taurox, Oxyotl. And the only reason I put Thoric at the top is because I really like that new rune magic capability. I really like his artifact vault, and I've wanted to play that character for a long time. Taurox, though, it's like a close second because he is so badass and cool, and I think everyone's going to have a ton of fun in this campaign. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Don't forget to tune into the stream in just a little bit, and if you have any questions, by all means, go ahead and ask them in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them if I can. But as always, thank you so much for watching here today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun action. But have a good one, and take care.